excess of anything is bad. An addiction is excessive, right? That's why an addiction is also bad. But in some cases, an addiction may be good. I'll give one example. Long before now, I used to watch MacGyver on television, and I found that it was so enjoyable, but I couldn't enjoy that much as I couldn't understand that English. It was so difficult for me to understand, but I understood a little bit, and I've tried to understand much better. That's why I really plan to learn English. And at the time, there was only BBC that I could listen to, and it was on radio, and it was not that tuned properly, very difficult. Still, I used to listen to it, and later I found that Deutsche Welle, there was also a Russian radio program, and I found that it was helpful. I mean, Russian news was much easier than BBC news, but still I used to listen to BBC more because it was much more enjoyable to me. Later, I planned that I would learn English so that I can understand BBC news, and at the same time I can understand English movies, dramas, comedies like that. So I tried my best to improve my English, and I did a lot. I even crossed so many hours, and successfully I improved my English, and it seems very comfortable when I listen to Bangla news or English news the same way. So what I'm telling is that excess of anything is bad. This is absolutely true, but in some cases it may be also good. So if you want to learn English, you have to have some fascination, special fascination, a kind of addiction to learning it. Suppose you are a dancer, you want to be a big dancer. What you need to do is to have special love, special fascination, a kind of addiction to dancing, so that you can practice a lot and can improve. So what's much more important is that whatever you love and do it much longer, frequently, I mean emotionally, passionately, you could learn it much better. When I was working at UITS, University of Information Technology and Sciences, there had been assistant professor of English. At the same time, I was the director of language department, and there I tried to make students understand that the way you learned English, the way you are learning English, the way the other guys are learning English in schools, at colleges, at universities, not the way they can improve English properly. If you practice English, you can get five or six in IELTS. You can go abroad, and you can write a little, and you can speak a little, very little. And before you practice, you should understand that this is not the right way. You have to practice in a way, the same way that you have learned Bangla. So the mother tongue you're very comfortable with, but when you are talking about English, you are not comfortable with it. It's because your English is not that good, especially because your teaching, your learning system actually is not properly working. As I have long experience, as I have practiced for many hours, for many years, what I have found is that learning English must be the same way as you've learned Bangla and you've learned Hindi. You watch Hindi dramas, Hindi films, and you can develop Hindi properly, you can understand Hindi properly. When it comes to English, English is not that good. It's because you tried to learn English, but you did not try to learn Bangla, you did not try to learn Hindi. As you have made an exception, you wanted to learn English, and teachers are meant to teach English. Actually, both of us are wrong. It can neither be taught nor can be learned. You have to learn English like mother tongue you have learned and Hindi have learned. So what I say is that learning is not good in case of a language. Teaching is not good in case of a language. The viewers, the learners must understand that they have to enjoy the language. Suppose I have a lot of videos, and there you see very interesting stories, dramas, movies like that, and they're made in such a way that the viewers understand properly. the English is easy, vocabulary is, high frequency vocabulary. That's how whenever you watch these dramas, these programs, you can improve. I'll give the links down below. There you can practice and you can enjoy. So what's important is that if you do not enjoy, you cannot improve English. You have to go for many hours. If you do not enjoy, how can you practice for so many hours? I give one example. Munjerin, she is a great lady, but unfortunately what I say is that the way she learned English is not the way she wants the learners learn. She has a lot of videos and there she speaks Bangla. When the listeners or viewers watch the Bangla English lessons, they will not improve their English, because you have to listen and listen and listen. Listening is much more important, as you have listened in your mother tongue a lot. You have also listened in Hindi. So what's important is that the more you listen, the more you can improve. In the beginning, you may think that you can understand, but you can't speak. Actually, understanding is much more difficult than speaking. When you have already learned a lot of English, even when you can't speak English, if you try, you can immediately, within a very short period of time, you can improve your speaking. Suppose a freezer, you have a lot of meat there, fish there, so many other food items are there. When you need, you can take them out and can cook. But the same way, what I say is that when your English is not good, and if you try to speak in English, it will take a long time, you can't improve it. So the most important thing is that you listen and listen and listen. Your English needs to be much better. When your English is very good, then if you try for speaking English, within a very short period of time, you can improve your speaking English. You may find that my methodology is different from others. Yeah, it's true, because I have researched, I have listened to BBC, I have listened to other programs for so many years, so many hours I spent on it, and that's how I understood that learning English is the same way learning Bangla, learning Hindi, learning any other language. Let me tell something that's very often I told to my students and other people. There is oxygen. God has given you oxygen free. Without oxygen, you cannot live even for a minute. And when it comes to water, you also find that water is so valuable. You cannot live without water after some days. So oxygen is free, water is free, but what you will say is that English is not free, right? No, it's not true. Your Bangla is also free. When you were born, you develop Bangla. Within 5 years, your Bangla became much better. So why? It's because you have listened and listened and listened. You spoken a very little. After 2 years, you start speaking Bangla. It's just 1 word, 2 words, or 3 words, like that. So what's important is that you listened and you listened. The same way you have listened to Hindi programs and you have understood like Bangla. So the thing is that in the beginning you have to improve your listening skill. You watch and watch and watch. You listen and listen and listen. Your English will improve a lot, and then when you try to speak English, it can be much easier. Unless you know English at all, you cannot speak properly. It's difficult. It can take a long time. So what's better is to first develop your listening skills as you developed Bangla and Hindi listening skills, right? So what I was talking about is that fascination, excessive fascination is not good, but in this case it's good, because unless you have an excessive fascination for learning English, you can't improve English that much. And that's it for now. Thanks for watching.